Hey guys, welcome to another video. So sorry about that. Today I'm gonna go over my Aphmau theories, and I think there's like one theory that I can think of off the top of my head that doesn't necessarily make sense, or like that I don't have like necessarily like proof for. It's more just like a thought. Anyway, real quick, I want to go over one thing before I actually get started, in case there's any confusion in this. I remember when I first watched all of My Street and started actually theorying on it, like not just even My Street, like all of her roleplay series and everything, like Diaries, My Inner Demon, all that. Um, when I first started theorizing about it, I thought that Aaron was a descendant of Shad, which then as I've gotten more like into theorizing, I realized how dumb I was, because that is actually not even possible for Aaron to be a descendant of Shad unless he's also a descendant of Irene, which doesn't make any sense because I don't know, because I feel like Jessica would go down. I mean, okay, he could be, but I feel like Jessica would go down more the route where she'd stick with Aphmau being a descendant of Irene. And if she is a descendant of Irene, that means she's also a descendant of Shed, which could cause problems in season 7. Anyway, to my actual other than that theories. So one in season 6, and this is more just like going off what I know, what I've noticed, and what I've seen like other theorizing videos. That kind of like, oh my gosh, it clicked with me. And it wasn't even necessarily what they said. It was just something that they said or that I saw on the screen. Like, oh, anyway, I'm off topic already. Okay. So one in season 6 of My Street, when they were fighting Michael had said that Aphmau was one piece of Irene's broken soul, and he had mentioned that there were 3 pieces. Let me pull up the clip for you guys.
You're one of the 3 pieces of her broken soul?
Okay, so now knowing that, I was very curious after seeing that part, as in, what are the other 2 pieces of her broken soul? My first thought was in Diaries, you had the weapons. You had Irene's sword, or whenever I used Irene's relic in Minecraft Diaries, the original one, she had that sword. And then you had the sword that Caitlin gave Lawrence, Garth, and then the katana she gave to Dante. So I immediately went to maybe that, or the staff that Vlad had in the remake and supposedly had in the original. Um, but it just recently clicked with me that, okay, I was watching Write It Out. I will put the link down into his video, down in the description, or not description, but the comment section, whatever. But I was recently watching one of his theory videos on the whole roleplay series, and he had pointed out that Jessica had did a live stream like a few years ago, like not a few. In the video he said like 5, and it showed this whole board, and she was explaining how Diaries, the remake of Diaries, and the My Street and remake of My Street, they're all canon to each other. And if the Aphmau from Diaries, the original one, the OG one, she is known as Irene because if you've watched through all of it, that Jessica did, the storyline was Irene, and you learned a lot of that from Hyria, I believe. Anyway, and then in then you have the Aphmau in the remake, right? You have the whole Aphmau in the remake, and Jessica never finished that. So I've been thinking about that. It might not necessarily even been a remake. It was more I mean, okay, it's called the remake, but I think that's what it might originally started. But they changed so much of the story from the original through the remake, and thinking about it now, it's like, well, that's not just a remake. That's not like telling you what really happened. That's a completely other dimension. Because I mean, maybe she's not even Irene in that one. But then anyway, the point is now you have that Aphmau. And then if you watch through Void Paradox, you have that Aphmau too. And then you also have Lawrence that showed up. And if you look at his armor, it looks extremely similar to the Lawrence's armor from Diaries, Minecraft Diaries, except for more updated. Not to mention the fact that he didn't go into a Shadow Knight form, because in the original he's a Shadow Knight. Um, and you would think that as a guard he would go to the farthest extent to save Aphmau from his shadow figure thingy, but he didn't. The other thing was also, his story didn't add up, because he said the last thing he remembered was being knocked out, and he said by Garth. Now I do remember this happening after, it was shortly after the war in Phoenix Drop against Scaleswind that Zane had caused, in the original, and then Lawrence had the amulet, and Garth knocked him out and took the amulet. Except for after that, I believe that they found him. So it didn't make any sense as to him just disappearing. And the only time he actually disappeared in that season is when he went to the Nether. But in that case, it wasn't even necessarily disappearing. Everyone kind of just like knew where he was. But he was never actually introduced into the remake, meaning that the Lawrence in Void Paradox could 100% be the Lawrence from the remake, which got me thinking because the Lawrence in my street went missing. Which, before we go there, with already having the Aphmau from Void Paradox, and then the remake, you also have the Aphmau on my street. Anyway, just in case some people have a comment, I guess I didn't really even go there. But anyway, the Lawrence in my street went missing, and if you watch through all Void Paradox, we learned that the Lawrence that was brought to that realm or that dimension or world was there to stop his shadow, the Void, um, which we don't know if he succeeded or not. And it always made me so mad that Jessica never finished like Void Paradox, and like she kind of just like left the remake of Diaries on a cliffhanger. But now it just makes so much more sense because it was all leading into My Street season 7. Because if you think about that now, so many people are trying to figure out what's going on in season 7 of My Street, but Void Paradox basically tells you exactly what's going to happen. We have the Void. And they go over the fact that they think that the Void it's going through getting rid of whatever is causing a disturbance, but I think it's Shad. But before I get into that, I'll get into that later. The fact that if you watch the trailer, you do see Lawrence in the trailer, like in Level of Paradise, and it didn't necessarily make any sense. And Write It Out went over this, and I still don't really understand it. And I disagree with the theories, but I also don't necessarily fully agree with the theories when it comes to why Lawrence was there. But I do think I know why he went missing. Because the one Lawrence got sent to the realm of Void Paradox, I believe that the Lawrence from My Street might have been sent to a different realm to protect it from the Void. But the problem is, if that's true, either there's a big problem or there's a really not problem. Because Lawrence in My Street, no offense to Lawrence at all, but he's kind of an idiot. I'm sorry, but like, the only thing he's really good at is flirting, or not even. He's not even good at that. I'd say like the only thing it smarts in is flirting. I don't know. Like, I don't know. No mean to diss Lawrence, but like seriously. So either that's a problem because Shadow's gonna be super skilled, or Shadow's gonna be really dumb. But we'll see about that. Anyway, so my theory is that he's in another realm, actually, trying to protect it, or rather being confused. So now I'm wondering if in the trailer, that's not their world at all. That's the world Lawrence is in. And in that world, Lawrence did go to Level of Paradise because I don't know, maybe he thinks that it's just a continuation of what happened since he never even knew what happened at the lodge. He doesn't know what happened at Starlight. I mean, or he does because I'm assuming it would be all over the news. But I mean, I don't think he did because he went missing like shortly after season 3, I believe. You might have seen him in Aphmau's year, but I don't know. And if he's not in another realm, then Elizabeth most likely has him because in the very last episode, at the very end of season 6, Elizabeth, she saved Garte and Zach walked away, but she still has Garte. So I'm like, well, I mean, if he's not in another realm, I think Elizabeth has him. My other thing was if the Void is coming, Elizabeth, being Elizabeth and working with Michael, could either one be trying to free Michael or two be trying to get out of that realm. Those are just my theories on her goal, though. And I have no proof to that. That's a thought. So this is a theory that I brought up at the very beginning about the one that I didn't really necessarily have proof for, but like there's nothing proving it wrong. But I believe that Aphmau in Diaries, or not Diaries, My Street, might possibly have Irene's relic. Hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. She had used 3 relics. She's a relic wielder, and Hala, so sorry if I pronounced the name wrong, had mentioned something about needing the girl with Raven here. Here, let me pull up the clip real quick.
Leave. Find help. What? You can't be serious. Look at you. You won't last a second on your own. Find the woman with raven hair. Just as those many years ago, I can feel her presence here with us. She's the only one here who can help fend him off.
What the hell are you talking about?
Still hiding me. Just listen. There's no time. She can wield a relic. Give her one. I won't be able to hold him for long alone. Go!
Now, you can disagree with this theory. You can also agree. It's just something that kind of got my attention in the fact that, like, how he said that. So my theory is that she might have Irene's relic, and if she has Irene's relic, if you go back to Diaries when Aph had first, like, not the remake but the original, but when she had first gotten Irene's relic, she was able to commune with Gareth, and it's, I don't know how to put this, but in my mind, I feel like that there's a chance. Hear me out now. That she would be able to commune with people they lost on Starlight, like Derek, Rachel, Melissa, or not Melissa, Blaze, and that kind of stuff. And my other thought is the Demon Warlock in season 7. I don't necessarily think that he would be a bad guy if they were to include him. I think that with Aphmau, if she does have Irene's relic, that she would be able to commune with him and that he would actually be help. Um, yeah, which brings me to another point. Jessica had mentioned that she wants to bring back like everybody into season 7, which makes me kind of excited because I'm really hoping, like, no offense to Derek or Rachel, but I'm hoping that they bring Blaze back out of everybody. Like, Blaze is probably one of my favorite characters, other than Gareth, and yeah, I don't know. Um, but okay, they also said that they would start, like, this isn't exactly what they said, but they said something similar to it, but that they start bringing like aspects into of my street and diaries and all that into their videos, like their everyday videos, the ones that they post constantly. So yesterday's video, Saved by an Assassin or something, you saw Phoenix drop, and you had Garth there in his whole guard outfit and everything, and then you had Zane brought back as the High Priest, which it made me so happy seeing that because it's like it's Diaries, it's all stuff from Diaries. And then the other thing that got me is because a little while ago I had a theory that since Aphmau has a sibling that no one really knows of, that was like never really, like, I don't know, like we don't know them at all, and Ava from My Inner Demon was adopted. One of my theories was that they could be sisters, but what was really interesting was the fact that they brought Rise into their videos. It makes me wonder, maybe they're not even related at all. Maybe they are in completely different universes, and the same thing that happened to Lawrence in Void Paradox might have happened to Rise. But it's just a theory. And one more thing before I forget, I thought I was going crazy for this because in season 4, and I'll see if I can find the clip. But I swear when Lucinda was going over like the past of the Ultima, like how it was created and everything. I swear when it showed Rowan and Derek that there was another kid, and I'm like, Derek had a brother, but every time I looked it up, it said no. But I finally found it. So I was looking at the description of Michael on Aphmau Wiki, and I have this word for word right now. It says when Derek and his brother were just children. So, yeah. Wait, give me a second. Let me finish reading. It says father turned to, yeah. Okay, yeah. So he did have a brother, which leads to another conclusion in season 7, or could lead to another conclusion. But basically, what made me really happy yesterday, I noticed a lot of this yesterday, like the whole Lawrence thing. But yesterday, I also realized that Jessica didn't just like forget about My Inner Demon or Void Paradox or the remake of Diaries. No, she's wrapping it all up into one, meaning that she may have originally canceled the original Diaries because she didn't like where it was going, but with this now, she can conclude it all. So basically, with all these different roleplay series, she can conclude them all into one with this season 7. Anyway, guys, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here for now. Comment down below if you guys want to see a part 2 to this, and any other theories you guys might have. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later. Bye. Okay, sorry. One more thing. Let me show you the clip of Derek and his brother.